To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so we're back at the tiny house build again today. And to be honest, I'm taking a few days off from building anything. I've really enjoyed myself yesterday and today. Today it's supposed to get up in the 50s. Tomorrow it's supposed to get up in the 50s. This is Sunday for me. I know you'll get this a few days late, probably on Tuesday is what I'm guessing. So, which is the same day where I am going to begin my next project on the tiny house. So on Tuesday, I'm going to go and get the decking material to build the porch, to start to build the porch. Now, I'm not going to put a roof on it right away. That's going to be a future project. Right now, I just want to get a deck down. The trailer is currently 12 feet, I think, but we're going to cut it off short to about 10 feet. It's going to be 12 feet wide out to the wings here. Now, I did get one question that said, since you've already put the siding on, how are you going to build the porch around it? Again, I'm just going to run a little 2x4 right over here, right next to the house. I can screw it right through the siding. No big deal. If I ever had to replace the siding, it would be a little bit of complication taking the screws out, but I'm just not going to make a big fuss about it. You can see underneath the door there, that's where the board will run, right next to that board. I will have to raise this screen door. The screen door doesn't fit. Long story, we bought it, it doesn't fit. There's a gap at the top, but I still want to use it somehow, so I'm trying to figure out how to make it work. But in order to do what I want to do, I'm going to have to raise the screen door, because what I'm going to do is, after I get the 2x4s, get the frame built out, I'm just going to run 2x6s across. And so it'll just be a deck is what it will be, with a little half-inch gap. So I think I need 20 2x6s to run across at 12 feet. This project should not be that difficult. I've built a porch before, way back in my past, and this should be real simple because most of the support structure is already here with all this steel frame here. And with my experience level now, I should have an easier time with it. I'm thinking maybe 2 days. And then Tuesday, I'm also going to order our shower. It's going to be a 32-inch by 32-inch shower. And it's going to go just to this side of the door. And then once we have the shower installed, we can put the flooring material down. Now, the flooring material we got from a neighbor, and we want to put the shower down before we put the flooring down, just in case we don't have enough flooring. We think we got plenty. He gave us this extra material he had, but that will take up space. The shower will, the concrete around the stove will take up the space. After that, I think we could actually start to move in. We've talked about toilets and different things and the septic tank, but the septic tank needs repaired, and we've been talking about going ahead and purchasing a composting toilet. They're kind of pricey, and that's been the whole hang up for me, is the price of the toilet. You know, I can do a $200 or $300 repair on the septic tank, or I can spend $1,000 on a composting toilet. Carolyn is really leaning towards a composting toilet idea, so I don't know. But again, the toilet is not the most critical thing to be able to move in. Now, what is the most critical thing is firewood. I don't think we can move in here this winter because our firewood, I've said this in a lot of videos, the moisture content is just too high in the firewood. I've tested a bunch of pieces with my moisture tester. It's got to be below 20% to use these new modern catalytic converter wood stoves. I can find some, but not enough to get us through the winter. So we need to stay down in the camper so we can maintain heat with our old Franklin wood stove outdoor heat exchanger that I built. It doesn't matter what kind of wood you put in it won't hurt it. But with the catalytic converter, you get that creosote around those tubes and you'll damage your stove. So, and we don't want to do that. It's a brand new stove. But the whole plan has been to move in this spring, you know, March or April, somewhere around there. So we have to make a little bit of sacrifice in order to enjoy the rest of our lives. Which brings me to today's subject. At the end of the video, I always say, I hope I inspire you, whatever the subject of the day was. Hope I inspire you to live your dreams. Hope I inspire you to do a little bit of work each day. And I get so many people say, well, I'll just never be able to do that. You know, and they always give an excuse. Well, you've already counted yourself out. You will never live a dream. And that's really a shame because it's just not that hard. I recognize there are a lot of things that keep people from doing what they want to do. You know, Carolyn's got a bad back, but she's out here living the dream. Now, I know what you're going to say, but Rob, you've built that tiny house by yourself. Carolyn didn't help. I mean, I've gotten that all kinds of times. And no, she hasn't helped with the major parts of it, I agree. But could she have done things? Oh, sure. I only work about 3 hours a day. It's not the quantity of work that you get done each day. It's the quality of work that you get done each day. And I'm not talking about the quality like, is it perfection? Heck, none of my work that I've done on that house has been perfect. I've tried, but it's the quality. It's the goal towards the dream. I think if you push yourself and exercise yourself and make things where you can do it by yourself, that it is possible. But by saying I can't, you've already made it impossible for you to do. Just got a comment today. It says, where'd you get your pallet wood from? And I gave the person the link. I took the time, went and found the link, which I didn't have handy. It took me 15, 20 minutes to find the link. Emailed it to the person. And the person says, oh, I don't do Facebook. You got a phone number? Well, you've already counted yourself out. You don't do something, and so you're not going to do it. And that's a shame. You should just say, well, I want pallet wood, and here's where I can get it. It's really cheap. Maybe I'll just sacrifice it and go to Facebook. But when you start putting rules on yourself, saying, well, I'm not going to get on Facebook, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, then don't worry about having a dream. You're not going to be able to accomplish it. Now, another thing I think is very important is being able to sacrifice things. Giving things up, making sacrifices, so you can have a dream. I want this property, and I want to live off grid, and I want to have a new house, a brand new house. But in order to do that, most people would have to have millions and thousands and billions of dollars, and I don't. I'm not saying I'm poor, but I don't have the resources to be able to go out and buy a brand new house. I'm debt free, and I'm never going to go back into debt. And I'm never going to go back and work for an employer. I'm always going to work for myself from here on out. It's just a better life for me. But in order to do that, you got to sacrifice things. Okay, I'm not going to have that 2,000 or 3,000 square foot house that's going to take a forest to heat. No, instead I'm going to have a 200 square foot house that's going to take a tree or two, which means I can buy 1.5 acres and I will have enough wood for the rest of my life. That's a sacrifice. I'm willing to give up the big place so I can have a little place and still have the dream. Another sacrifice is Carolyn. Carolyn has given up a lot. She doesn't have a full-size kitchen right now. She doesn't have a dishwasher or any of the fancy equipment. But she's willing to give things up so that we can get into the tiny house. That's amazing. Have a spouse that will, 9 times out of 10, I don't even have to say, are you comfortable? Are things okay for you? I try to remember to ask her at least a few times a week. Enough heat? Are you cool enough in the summer? What more can I do to make you comfortable? But I don't have to. She's always quite content. One of the things we had to do just recently is, it's been such mild temperatures this winter, which has been absolutely amazing, that we're having a hard time freezing load full of meat that we just bought. The refrigerator was outside, so we could have more space inside the camper. Well, our only choice was to bring the refrigerator inside the camper so the refrigerator would kick on. It's too cold for it to kick on outside, but not cold enough to freeze anything. I was going to sacrifice my day to bring in the refrigerator, leave it in there for 24 hours, and take it back outside. That means I got to load everything in, take everything out, put it back in. It was going to be a pain. And I got it inside, and it's running, and it's freezing, and it's doing its thing. Carolyn says, let's just leave it in here. I said, man, it's going to be so hard to take showers for you, and dishes are going to be more complicated. She says, the house is done. We could move in right now if we wanted to. If we had the firewood, or if we bought some firewood, we could move in. She says, I can sacrifice this little floor space right now so we can get our meat to freeze for the rest of the winter. That's what you got to do. You got to be willing to give things up so you can get the bigger picture later. To have the dream. That's what the dream is okay, I'm going to start here and I want to be over there sometime in the future. And you keep progressing in your dream and you keep expanding your dream. You know, get the tiny house built and then we're going to start on a porch. Once the porch is built and we can move in, get a chicken coop. Build a chicken coop. Maybe get some goats so we come out in the woods in the summertime and there's not so many snakes and mosquitoes, and you know, the goats will eat up all the grass and I don't have to cut the grass. Eventually maybe we'll build a root cellar, cured hams in it. I know how to butcher, we could butcher. I'm thinking out in the future, thinking about my dreams in the future, and I'm working towards and progressing towards them. I hope I can inspire you to start your dream right now. Thanks for watching.